Good evening. Welcome to the Government News Brief. This evening, Berbice Bridge toll to be further reduced, CDC to provide new homes for flood-affected residents, and government to strengthen anti-money laundering strategy. These stories and more when we return. Thanks for staying with us. Good news for Berbice Bridge users. Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson says negotiations are ongoing to further reduce the toll. The Berbice Bridge Company Incorporated (BBCI) has approached the ministry for help, and the minister is using the opportunity to ease the financial strain on the citizens. Minibuses traversing the Georgetown to Molson Creek Route 56 are expected to cross the bridge free of cost, according to the minister.
Minibuses must pass next to nothing. So that there will be no difference in cost for a man jumping on the speedboat as opposed to a man jumping on the minibus. Right? Because right now I think you are paying $1,900. That is the proposal I put in it. I don't want the minibuses to pay, not this particular brand of minibus, 56, sorry. The 56 minibuses must pass free.
Minister Patterson urges minibus drivers to drop their prices to low gravy when the deal is done.
They were supposed to come back to me, beginning of this month, which is only a couple of days before. Soon as they come back and soon that's agreed, I'll implement it. So therefore I'm hoping that everybody can make a living and Berbice can make a living.
In 2016, the toll for minibuses crossing the bridge was dropped from $2,200 to $1,900, which represented a 10% decrease in the toll. This was a promise made and fulfilled by the government. The Civil Defense Commission is being assisted by several agencies as they work to assist residents recover from extreme flooding in Regions 7 and 8. Gabriela Patram reports.
Efforts are now intensifying to provide the residents with new homes since the water has receded in both Regions 7 and 8. Retired Colonel and Director General Civil Defense Commission CDC Chabilal Ramsarup explains the measures that are underway to return the residents to normalcy.
The Ministry of Communities will take the lead in housing because they have that one ministry. What I asked them to do is when they are building back these houses, that they should not use mud. Because once the water soaks the mud, it crumbles. They did recently in there a workshop on burning bricks, and there's the clay bricks, and that is fine. I also asked them not to, if as far as possible, if they can build back their houses not in the valleys, but on a little higher ground.
The heavy rainfalls has resulted in the loss of food security for residents since all the farms in the Upper Mazaruni district were underwater and some were completely destroyed. Efforts are ongoing to correct such losses, Colonel Ramsarup explains.
The Ministry of Agriculture has been tasked of getting planting materials, equipment and so on, and they told me, they assured the meeting last week, that will be going in sometime during this week. So the onus now is for us, for the regions themselves, to do the resupply because they know more of the ground than we do.
The damaged roads and bridges and other infrastructure will also be addressed by the Ministry of Public Infrastructure. The CDC director notes that the provision of necessary supplies including food aid, water cans, soap, hampers, mosquito nets and medical supplies have been delivered to the flood-affected residents.
All the villages that were impacted were resupplied, and they have at least another 10 days of rations to go with. Apart from that, they have some cleaning stuff, some hygiene kits, tentage and so on, fuel as well. So nearly all the communities have so far were visited and were resupplied with all sorts of items, including clothing.
The heavy rains initially began in Region 8 on May 17, 2017, which saw continuous heavy rainfall over a period of approximately 5 days, resulting in severe flooding. Additionally, more supplies will be sent to the regions at Madia, Camarang, and Cato shortly. For the Government News Brief, Gabriela Patram.
Government is continuing to ensure Guyana's anti-money laundering strategy is strengthened. Tiffany Rodias explains what is being done.
Finance Minister Winston Jordan emphasizes Guyana's efforts to protect the country's financial system from money launderers. He received the first Money Laundering and Terrorist Financing National Risk Assessment Report and Risk-Based Action Plan from the Director of the Financial Intelligence Unit, FIU, Matthew Langevin, today. The detailed plan addresses how to mitigate identified risk.
We have come to realize the impact of MLTF risks on the economic growth of the country, as well as our role in the global fight against MLTF. The threat of terrorist financing, too, is becoming an ever-increasing real and present danger for countries in the Caribbean. The experience of our sister CARICOM country, Trinidad and Tobago, should cause all of us to redouble our efforts to protect our country from the grasp, reach, and clutches of terrorists and their deadly activities.
Minister Jordan describes the document's completion as an important achievement as it marks the start of Guyana's preparation for the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force, CFATF, fourth round mutual evaluation.
Having conducted the NRA exercise, Guyana can now more easily identify, assess, and understand its MLTF risks and prioritize actions according to the levels of risk. Guyana is scheduled to be evaluated under the fourth round in 2022, and the completion of a national risk assessment report, which supported by a risk-based action plan, is only one of FATF's 40 recommendations, which country will be assessed on during the fourth round mutual evaluation process.
Langevin emphasizes the need to ensure that the documents never become dust.
This is a living document that requires a lot of work. There is much that needs to be done for our AML-CFT regime to get where it needs to be to have a successful mutual evaluation in 2022. We need all hands, all agencies and entities on board to implement the recommendations within this action plan. A great deal of work is required relating to updating legislation. Stakeholders also need to effectively execute their role. This includes the reporting entities, the supervisors, and the other regulators.
The National Risk Assessment Report and Risk-Based Action Plan are the result of 14 months of arduous work by 74 persons from 21 government agencies and 17 private sector entities. For the Government News Brief, Tiffany Rogers.
Tiffany Rodias joins us once again to tell us that Chinese businessmen are keen to invest in Guyana.
A delegation of Chinese businessmen today met with Minister within the Ministry of Natural Resources, Simona Brooms, and a team from the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission. Head of the delegation, Simi Lu, speaking through translator Jeffrey Jin, says China has the market for Guyana's natural resources.
A lot of Chinese want to come here to help Guyana to invest here, whatever they can get, the benefit from the Guyana through the investment.
Lu adds that investors' confidence is increased after meeting with existing Chinese investors in Guyana. The influx of other international investors to Guyana was another positive indicator, Lu says. Today's meeting resulted from a previous engagement between Minister Brooms and Chinese entrepreneurs last year in China.
We had some lengthy meetings and discussions about Guyana. They had their concerns about what they heard coming to Guyana and all of that, and I think they managed to get some clarity.
Minister Brooms notes that the investors' interests lie primarily in gold and diamond mining. However, investors have also expressed interest in lesser minerals, renewable energy and infrastructure. For the Government News Brief, Tiffany Rogers.
After 3 months of intense training in entrepreneurial skills, 85 youths graduated today. Gabriela Patram was at the ceremony at the Umanayana.
The atmosphere was filled with a sense of pride and accomplishment as the youths from Sophia, Georgetown, Angoy's Avenue and Kanji and Berbice received their certificates as entrepreneurs. The Department of Public Information Government Information Agency spoke with some of the proud graduates about their achievement.
I'm feeling so excited. so excited that I don't even know how to express my feelings now. I'm graduating today from this YouthBuild 592 entrepreneurship program. I'm so excited and I see myself as a young entrepreneur.
It was a bit challenging even though I went to stuff at home. I still make it my duty to be present on time and be present at every class. So even though it was trials and tribulations, I still made it through, and I'm glad that I'm successful at the end.
Graduating, I feel very special, very special to be here today, collecting the certificate.
Credit Guarantee Fund Manager, Small Business Bureau, Julian Edwards, highlights that 72 business plans out of the 85 have been submitted, while some have become operational already through partnerships.
So let's give a round of applause to partnerships. And I hope that you youths understand the importance of collaboration. You would have done it in your business challenge. Many times we think we could do things alone, but we need the support of others, not so? You had the support of your trainers, your peers throughout this program. And you can do so much through partnerships, and this was a clear example.
The aim of the YouthBuild 592 program is to give youths a second chance who have been abused, school dropouts, and teenage mothers, among others, out of possible negative activities, while teaching and guiding them into entrepreneurial activities. Newly appointed Chief Executive Officer of the Small Business Bureau, Lowell Porter, encouraged the graduates to dream big. As an entrepreneur is one who is always taking on added responsibilities.
You also need to have what I term VCR. You know about the VCR, right? So you have vision, creativity, and results.
The pilot program was a collaboration among the Ministries of Public Security, Education, the Small Business Bureau, which falls under the purview of the Ministry of Business, and the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, which funded the program along with YouthBuild USA Incorporated. For the Government News Brief, Gabrielle Patram.
Visit gina.gov.gy for more news and information 24/7. We're also on Facebook and YouTube, and the links are on the screen. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening.